Good day guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me Nate. Today we're actually looking at my desktop and we're going to be looking a little bit about using TacView to judge your post-game actions. For the first while I played flight sims, I kind of ignored TacView because I could just check the results screen on BMS and see the effectiveness there. But the more I played it, the more I became curious about how to use the TacView to actually see how some missiles are doing. Specifically when you do SEAD missions or D80 missions and you're using alarm or harm missiles, I'm a little bit curious to how that actually works out, because often you're firing them off, they're firing forget, you're not looking at them, you're not watching these ground targets, and you can't see them. So this is an interesting way of actually seeing how effective you're doing. Now this is a mission I've done a little bit earlier today, and I managed to take out 3 out of 4 of my missiles with alarms. Sorry, sights. So I'll just show you what they are, and then we'll boot up the videos as necessary. So firstly, you get TacView from here, which is TacViewsoftware.com. I believe you just type in TacView, comes up. You can download it and install it, and then your TacView files are under User, ACMI, and they're under here. Now I'm gonna load up this one, and it takes a little while to load, and it actually has a global map. You can use this to do DCS as well, which is quite cool. And let's load up my plane and zoom in. So there I am. Now the first missile I fire off, I watched the video, the TacView already misses entirely. I use POS mode. I fire it as equation of motion. Now POS mode is position mode. So at this mode, you're firing off the missile roughly at something. It's position known. And EOM, equation of motion, is the most accurate version of that mode, sub mode, and it fires the missile with a narrow 40-degree field of view, and it's activated within 5 nautical miles of the target. So I'm firing at a steer point, and the theory is that within 5 nautical miles at a steer point, the warhead activates with a very narrow field of view, and it tracks the target. The other 2 modes are pre-brief mode, which is the one I should have used, because that gives the warhead a 120-degree field of view, a bit further from the target, 15 nautical miles, which is the one I should have used. Here I fired off, and the missile just goes skywards. It lofts. There's the alarm. It goes off, and it lofts. Now at this stage, I'll put up the video. You can see here, there I am. I'm cruising. It's an A10 model because there's no tornado model for TacView, and the missile goes off. So if I fast forward it there, and missile away, and you can see it skyrockets through the air. And then we can just look at the alarm missile and actually watch that. So that it lofts all the way up, which is what missiles do. They loft up and down because they need that kinetic energy. If they just shot straight forward and lost energy, they would dip too low. So this means they have a much more effective range. I think it's called aerodynamic range or something if you look at the missile technology. Now it seems to track quite accurate towards the SA5 site I've locked up, and all seems to be going well when I was watching this review. But one of my missiles missed, and I wasn't sure which one it was, and it was actually this one. If I load the second ACMI file, if I close this one, open this one and close the other one, you'll see this, because I was very curious to what happened to that missile. So let's go back to the alarm missile for now. I did fire off another one, and I fired the next ones off with the harm as sensor, which is another mode you can use to fire off missiles. Instead of using position mode, you just fire off the missile using the missile as a sensor. Having played the game now a little bit more, I'm not sure why I would ever use position mode when you can fire off the missile with harm as sensor, and it's kind of easier to aim rather than the steer point. But I'm sure there is an argument for it, but I'm not really sure what it is. So here you can see the alarm. It goes off, and keeping focus on this missile, it seems to track towards the target, but then suddenly it just disappears. Now I'm not really sure why that is at the moment, and I will investigate. And I'll ask maybe the forums. My theories so far are that once it loses, it doesn't track. If a missile doesn't track anything, it just disappears off the screen to save game processing and whatnot, or just to reduce things flying through the air, or much less likely it's just run out of fuel. But more likely I fired the missile, and because the warhead's tracking such a small field of view, it's just not picked up anything and it's just gone inert. If I go back to me here, and I fast forward a little bit to about 5 minutes 30, I'm cruising along here, and suddenly this SA5 site, which was previously outside my threat circle, goes very active. Now the SA5 is a very big missile, and it's designed to shoot down bombers at very high altitudes, a very long range. So it's no wonder. And I'm kind of looking at my screen here. I think my sound was off. As you can see, there's no sound. I was looking at something else, so I was looking at my music playlist, and suddenly I got those red light and the missile goes off. So I quickly just look down, just double check I've got my missiles, and I fire off a harm missile and I just go defensive. And you can see this here as, you can see here again me cruising completely oblivious to what's going on. And that bar lock up ahead should go red, indicating that it's in fact on active, and there's the active SA5. It's fired them off and it's gone live. I fire off my alarm missile, go very defensive and go down. Now let's focus on the alarm missile because that's what we're really here to do. The alarm missile then lofts, goes up in the sky, which is what it's supposed to do, and it just keeps tracking towards the target quite confidently. This time I remember I'm not firing it with the alarm missile as POS. I fired off just range with harm as sensor. So the harm is the alarm is using its own warhead, and I'm using that as a sensor to track. It seems to be tracking pretty well. You can see it's not actually tracking directly towards the target just yet. And soon, at this point, you can see it's picked it up with its field of view and is tracking towards the target. And of course, I think the SA2s are quite quickly defeated. You can see here I'm very low. I don't the SA5s. Sorry, the SA5s can track that low and that well, and I've easily defeated the missile. And these two missiles just go into space, which is also good to know because again I was flying dead oblivious towards it. You can see here now the alarm missile's gone forward. So let's just play that video here. An SA2 actually flies by me and it misses me entirely, and I didn't even realize it. I think in the game I look back and I see a smoke trail, but what we really want to be focusing on is the alarm missile, and that hits that. If I went off at point blank, I didn't manage to hit something, so I'm pretty pleased with that. That was pretty interesting. I didn't think that would. They're quite maneuverable missiles, oddly, and I'm generally surprised they're able to hit things. Anyway, so let's put it onto free view for now. You can see here the alarm. I fire off a second alarm there, and also firing at the same SA5 site. And I think as things are coming up as my the sort of it becomes rendered into the game. If I just fast forward a little bit more, that alarm then goes terminal. It obviously can see the target, and it tracks all the way down to the bottom here. Zoom in a little bit here. You can see tracks all the way down to the very end. The SA5 side is still firing. It really should have turned its radar off at this stage, but no. It connects with the fan song. So if I just rewind that a sec, you can see it's the fan song all the way back there. And the SA2, it fires off here. It goes ballistic, and it just dives off into distance. And I believe it disappears in the next video. So I fire off several alarms into distance at SA5 sites, and I think this one, I believe this last one, I quit the video. I don't know if it hits. I can only presume it does because you can see there it's tracking. Looks like it's tracking straight at what is I think is the bar lock, which is every missile site has a missile control and a radar. They both emit radiation so that the missile will track both. So that's it. So this was very interesting for me because I was actually able to work out how well the missiles are doing, and I've done some other videos where I'm firing off missiles with POS mode. They don't hit very well, so I'm gonna try and stick with using the harm as sensor mode for using my missiles in the future. Alright guys, well I'll put TacView in the description below. If you guys have any questions or would like to see some more stuff specifically, I'll use it and I'll try and do something and put it up on the video. And this has been very helpful and very educational for you, so I hope you guys take something away from this and maybe you guys use it yourself to check it out. It also works for DCS, and it's a free software, so there's no reason not to do it. It's only very small. I do warn you that the files can get pretty big with the TacView. You can see at the moment they've broken themselves down into little bits. I don't know if you can actually make it so that the game makes the TacView into one big file. And the default key, by the way, is F to use the ACMI recorder in-game, and toggling that F turns off again. Alright guys, well, I've got to go, but it's been very educational, and I hope to speak to you guys on the comments below. But until then, this is Nate out.